Ready?
I'm ready.
We have made it to another season on the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
We were talking about you, bitch, about a goddamn ball. It's like, what? Wait, is this really happening? To me, bitch. What?
Last time I saw you guys, were you? Oh, you weren't there.
I wasn't there, but I heard about you, Kung Fu Panda.
It was awful.
What happened?
I just want him to leave.
Season 8, which was a very up and down season for me, I feel like, as a whole. How was it for you on your rewatch of season 8?
It was great. It was I always say I like watching these seasons back as an adult because, when this aired, I don't know, what year was this? 2014?
Probably 2015-ish.
Yeah, I was much younger than I am now. So it's kind of interesting watching it with a new perspective. Like, I have a different take on Kim now. I have a different take on Candy and Phaedra's relationship. I think 9 years ago, I was happy to see Nene come back. This year, not so much. I don't really think we needed it. So,
well, we'll get to Nene in the very distant future here, but we're going to start with the season starting off on a bang, really, or a bang to the stomach, I suppose, out in Lake Lanier on a boat.
Is that where the season started?
I mean, it was the first big thing of the season. Was like in the first few episodes.
Okay.
It starts in Lake Lanier on a boat. I don't remember the event. I think Kenya was throwing it. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was for Cynthia about Peter and basically like a party to make Cynthia feel better, which I feel like we will have many parties about Cynthia and her marriage, but yes.
Well, Kenya threw the party, but I also feel like your girl started the problems on the boat when...
Did she?
Yeah, Portia's friend, Shamia.
Mm-hmm.
Was there and she didn't want her there.
Well, she wasn't invited.
Yeah, but then she also just tried to throw her off the boat at one point, and I feel like that's when the drama started.
Okay, well, first of all, Shamia wasn't invited and then proceeded to be disrespectful to Kenya and throw a lot of, subtweets and subliminals at her.
She did.
So, you weren't supposed to be here in the first place. The very least you could do is, put on a smile. Let's all be supportive and build up Cynthia. Now is not the time to be throwing shade.
But there's already all this beef between Porsha and Kenya. So, of course, that's going to cause some problems for Porsha when Kenya's trying to kick her friend off the boat.
Maybe, but it wasn't about either of them. So.
But I feel like that is when Porsha and Cynthia got into it. And I believe, well, what happened was somebody made a comment. It could have been Porsha, but I don't think she said it first, about Cynthia being Kenya's best friend. So she should be the one to tell Kenya to calm down. And then Porsha also called Cynthia a bitch, even though it was kind of in jest. And I feel like Cynthia was already defensive because of the whole Kenya best friend thing. And thus...
Yeah, she don't like Kenya being called her best friend now. She's like, hey, now.
That'll be a theme throughout our videos on this season.
I get it, but let me talk to her because we have had years of issues back and forth. And I want to find out if this is really how we're going to fall out on our people. Talked about it, we've been playing. We were talking about you, bitch, about a goddamn ball. It's like, what? Wait, is this really happening? How did you turn this into a complete argument for me and you? I ain't turned into nothing. You are fake.
But from there, Porsha and Cynthia got into it, and I felt like Porsha in this regard wasn't trying to start drama. I think Cynthia was defensive.
Yes, I think everyone was drunk. I think things were just escalating naturally. And then Cynthia did try to remove herself, right? I think she went to go get Kenya and maybe talk to her. Mm-hmm. And then that's when the bitch comment was made, which was made in jest. And like Porsha said, it was this bitch that triggered you. So I agree. I think the liquor just kind of finally caught up to all of them. And it just kind of took a turn from there.
To me, bitch. What? Are they
I guess the problem is that it's Porsha, and now this is starting. She's having a history of getting into physical altercations.
Yeah, but the problematic thing that she said though was like, "You don't want me to get up,"
Yeah,
which is like,
a threat.
all right now, Mike Tyson, calm down.
Yeah, but it's Cynthia the one that ends up kicking Porsha.
I think kick is like such an extreme
I mean, what is it if it's not a
description.
kick?
If you look at it, I mean, like, it's kind of hard to say how intensely Porsha felt it, but to me, it looked like a shove with her foot. Because like a kick, I feel like is like, you know, she like winded back and
That's
then like
fair.
kicked her, whereas like Porsha was leaning over her and she just kind of pushed her.
I mean, yeah, I
off
guess you
with
can
her
say
foot.
she pushed her with her foot.
Yeah, and it was brought up later, like, no, those bruises and contusions, as Porsha calls them, those were brought on by production.
Yeah, because they were
not
holding Porsha back. Yeah.
Yeah, like literally, I think Cynthia, that was all she did was just push Porsha off of her, and
Yeah.
that was it. So like, there's no way all of those bruisings could have come from Cynthia.
I like seeing Cynthia defend herself. You know, I like to go hard for Cynthia sometimes, but I still think Cynthia was more in the wrong, I guess, because
How?
Well, because she was the one being defensive.
Okay, but then she tried to remove herself from the situation, and then here go Porsha getting all up in her face, being drunk, calling her a bitch, waving her hands in her face.
Yeah, but Cynthia waves her hands too.
Maybe, but Cynthia also isn't the fucking Hulk when she gets angry.
In this instance, she kind of was.
No,
She
even then,
pushed her with her foot.
even then, all Cynthia did was defend herself. It's not like Cynthia got up and like started wailing on Porsha.
I know.
What is it when you like recover your ground? She recovered her defensive ground, and then she just kind of maintained it. She didn't attack Porsha. She didn't do anything. So
you're saying Portia's in the wrong?
yes, Porsha is in the wrong. I mean, I think everybody was drunk. I think that nobody was using their good de-escalation tactics, but yeah, Porsha was in the wrong. And Porsha knew that she was in the wrong the minute she said, "You don't want me to get up now?" Because it's like, why are you even taking it to that level? How did it go from, "Oh, I'm here to support you, you're my girl, like we want to pour into you, make you feel better about your marriage," to "I'll beat your ass if you don't get together"? Like, that don't make sense.
Do you think that's the reason Porsha was then complaining about bruises, to try and seem like a victim?
Probably. I mean, Porsha is a victim. Yes, I think Porsha victimizes herself in nearly every altercation she's had. And that's not to say that like Porsha isn't a victim in some sense. Like, you know, with the whole Kenya thing, Kenya was waving a scepter in her face. Like, yeah, that's not okay. But at the end of the day, like, you're a grown ass adult. You need to be able to regulate your emotions, de-escalate situations. Like, these are just basic, you know, being an adult with some common sense and emotional regulation, you know?
Yeah.
And so Cynthia attempted to do that. And so therefore she is not wrong for defending herself.
Okay. That's a strong argument. And I'm not going to sit here and...
Well, I feel like you got to argue with me because I feel like we're going to have people in the comments that disagree and they probably won't.
Yeah, but I like Cynthia too much to go
Fair.
against her.
Yeah. I do like Porsha. Let the record show. She's just wrong. She's violent.
They kind of made up, I guess.
Honestly, that day on the boat, it just felt like old times. And when I said something to offend you, it's kind of like I was like, what did I say? You know, and then when I realized what it was, I was like, oh, I can surely get her to understand. I didn't mean it in that way.
Honestly, I came today to apologize for my part in it. I had no expectation from you whatsoever, other than to just be responsible for my actions. That's it. I think we both feel bad about the situation and just really want to move forward and be cool again. I'm really, really glad we had this one-on-one because that's really what I wanted to do. I didn't really want the peanut gallery.
Okay, now.
So, all right, can we hug?
Yes.
Okay.
Ouch. I'm just playing.
A hug.
This led to another trip. They go to Miami. Who planned this trip?
This was a joint trip between Kenya and Porsha.
And that's just to make Cynthia and Porsha make up? Or was it just a trip?
Yeah, I think it was to like boost group morale. I think they'd already made up, but like, I don't fucking know. They be having, oh, it rained today. Let's have a girls' trip.
They do like their
get
girls'
away
trips.
from the rain. I don't know, but it was a joint venture between Kenya and Porsha.
Well, it led to more drama, which is why I say the beginning of the season was good. It fell off in the middle of the season for me. But the beginning of the season had these two trips that had a lot of drama. I guess we have to talk about Tammy, even though we're not even talking about Sheree that much yet, but we will in this future video.
Or Kim.
Yeah, Kim could wait. But Tammy is Sheree's ex-husband's friend, possible
allegedly,
lover.
Yeah. Miley Cyrus's, body double, some would say.
I'm glad Tammy has a picture-perfect marriage. She must have used my husband as practice.
Tammy? I didn't know you had a problem with me, which I should probably be the one with the problem, but...
Bob and I have been friends for a really long time, you know this. And when they were going through their divorce, I just felt like the press is just killing him.
But where the drama comes in on this trip is Tammy's nephew, which really pissed you off when we were watching. Because Tammy's drunk all the time for once.
Tammy stayed drunk on them goddamn 2% Corona.
So she's never even around to like have to deal with the drama.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, her nephew, they meet him at a bar or something. And according to the other girls, Kenya was into him and invited him. I think Kenya did invite him back to the house, right? At least that part's true.
Sure. I mean, the way that it was edited, it was like Porsha said, we're doing body shots back at the house. Kind of seemed like everybody was invited back. And then Kenya was like, yeah, Tammy, let your nephews know, like, we're going back to the house. So, I mean, like, I think to sit there and be like, Kenya wanted Glenn there so she could fuck him. Like, no, I think the vibe was like, we've had a good time. Let's take this back to the house, show them a good time in Miami in their nice fancy house that production's paying for. I don't really see anything wrong with that.
Is his name Glenn?
Yes, it is Glenn.
Okay, good.
It's very weird that I remembered that.
Because the comments will call me out if I get names wrong. But so Glenn is mad weird.
Violent?
Yeah, aggressive.
Unhinged.
He definitely came across as unhinged, especially
mentally ill
when he's doing it to Candy, who at this time is pregnant.
Did I have attitude?
That was kind of the biggest red flag to me. But then the other girls, when Kenya wants to put an end to the situation, are acting like Kenya's the problem.
I just want to talk to you about your nephew. He kind of like snapped at me. The little man over there.
None of them hoes can tell me any thing.
I can see things are getting a little bit messy with Kenya, so I'm just going to escort Oliver out and call it a night.
It's gonna go down.
It's like that.
It's like that. And everybody knowing.
I'm about to go. If he get pissed off, the pregnant lady is not going to be here for that.
A few minutes ago, Kenya was flinging her dress at Glenn. Now she wants to kick him out like he's the boogeyman. Which is it, boo?
You've been really weird. You have made other people feel uncomfortable here. I just want you to leave.
You didn't never make me
cameras on. I didn't feel like I'm going. Just
No. Little bitch. I'm gonna play none of little bitch.
Yeah, so it started on the boat, right? When he was sitting there talking to Sheree, and Kenya wanted to get his attention. And so she snapped and she was like, young buck, what's your name? And he was like, I know shawty ain't just snapping me on God. And she's just like, I just was trying to get your attention. So to me, that was the first red flag. Mm-hmm. And, the ladies want to reframe it as, oh, Kenya was trying to flirt with him and he wasn't having it. Cause she was like, you're spicy. But to me, as a woman that like being a woman, right? To me, I interpreted that as you have someone that is aggressive and I took it as a de-escalation tactic of like, oh, okay, like you got a little spice, my bad. Like she was not flirting with Glenn. I don't think she did make a comment, Glenn's kind of fine, but like that was in a confessional. But like I never took it as Kenya wanted him. He's not fucking cute anyways. He's skinny and got a motherfucking bird chest. Don't nobody want this little weak at anyways. So like That was the first red flag. Then they get back to the house. They're at the pool. He goes up and kind of rolls up on Candy. And, you know, like, they're probably all reek of alcohol. They're loud. They're drunk. Candy's over there with Kim trying to just have her space. Like, I don't think she's wrong for being short with him. Like, take your drunk ass over there.
Yeah.
And then that's when he, you know, was like, yeah, I ain't gonna let these bitches talk to me crazy. And he should have been escorted out right there.
He should have been.
Like, that's crazy. That's diabolical to just act like that to a pregnant woman.
Some of the other women's argument is that Kenny should have let security take care of it instead of...
That's probably true. Yeah. I mean, for her own safety, she should have fucking done that, because clearly this man is unhinged if he'll talk to a pregnant woman crazy. So, yeah.
Yeah. But where all the other women lose me except for Candy is that
they try to act like his behavior wasn't violent and unhinged, and like he didn't push his on.
Exactly. When he pushes Tammy to the ground and
knocks her out.
Check her pulse. She's dead.
Tammy. Tammy, give me a cool towel.
Cool towel. Tammy.
A cool towel.
Tammy. Sister, you saw that.
I saw that.
I told you he's crazy.
Oh my gosh. What the
If security wasn't present, I hate to think about what would have happened. This guy is a ticking time bomb.
If that doesn't prove that he was overly aggressive, then I don't know what does.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, you know, Nick, you got to be careful of how you're framing Black men, right? Because Phaedra and Sheree, you know, they're trying to raise strong Black men to be like Glenn, I guess. They're children. Aiden is easily one of the most articulate fucking toddlers I think I've seen ever. But somehow that could be him.
Yeah, I mean, I got Phaedra's point, obviously.
No.
Let me finish.
Go ahead. Well, I mean, you can finish. I'm just saying no. Go ahead.
Phaedra's point about Black men in general is correct, that they do get ostracized. Except this time, I don't know when this was exactly. I don't know if this was after
This is
Trayvon Martin.
After Trayvon.
But, like, I get why she's talking about that. But in this scenario, it's like the wrong time to use that because Glenn is clearly actually being aggressive.
Absolutely. So. Absolutely. And I mean, if we're going to have a serious conversation about this, like, I think that if anything, bringing up a Glenn or like using Glenn as an example in this kind of like disrespects the movement because it's like, actually, this man is being violent, like objectively, like unequivocally is being violent. Yeah. And like, you're trying to say that your child who has been raised with manners and mindfulness and respect of women, that could be him. No, it couldn't, because this isn't a circumstance where he's being profiled on the basis of its skin. He's being profiled because he's acting like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, exactly. So on this rare occasion, I do have to say that Phaedra's in the wrong and Kenya's in the right.
And Sheree, too. Sheree also joined in on that foolish shit. If anything, I feel like Sheree was trying to fuck on Glenn.
Probably.
Because they were up under each other all night. She's like, I didn't see anything violent about his behavior. It's like, so you didn't see Tammy on the ground? That wasn't violent to you. Got it. Noted. Write that down, actually. It kind of puts a lot into perspective about their threshold for what is violent and what is acceptable and unacceptable from a man. So actually, take note.
Well, on that note about Sheree, we're going to end part 1 of season 8. And next time we will be talking about Sheree and unfortunately talking about Kim Fields as well.